Hi, Barbara, you're on the air. What did Gilbert do to you?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Oh, well, you remember how I called in like a year and a half ago?
Yes.
It was about the Holocaust, and now he's going to start it again. I know. I hate him so much.
Oh, yes.
Listen.
Oh, wait a second. I remember this woman. Let me set this up. Gilbert got invited to a dinner at Amy Heckerling's house. Amy Heckerling is a famous director. She did Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I think one of the best movies ever made, Clueless.
Absolutely.
And this woman also is your parents.
My parents went to the Holocaust. It was a very, very, very sad, horrible story.
So she worked for Amy.
Yeah, but are you sure it was that bad?
Years.
What?
I worked 7 years for Amy. And
Right. And anyway, so
Which was worse?
Wait, let me just tell the story.
Yeah,
So her job was to pick Gilbert up. Amy wanted to have a dinner with Gilbert.
Yes.
What was the dinner about? Ostensibly to be in a movie?
Just dinner. I worked with her on Look Who's Talking Too.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she just liked Gilbert to entertain her.
I didn't realize Amy did Look Who's Talking too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I thought she was a great director.
Kills it now,
Yeah, they does. Yeah, oh,
Everybody's
man.
got a dud. So
All right, everyone's got a bad one in there.
The movie.
What?
That scene ruined the whole movie. The whole movie was good, but that scene ruined the whole movie.
Yeah, it's kind of, Betty Thomas was invite me over her house for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I worked in the whole movie with her.
Howard, she would invite you if you'd come.
Who, Amy
I would
Heckerling?
pick you up. I would pick you up, and I'd be really nice to you.
So you still work for Amy Heckerling?
I still work for her, and they have actually seen Gilbert at Caroline's.
All right, wait a second. So let me tell you the story. So this nice woman on the phone picks up Gilbert, I guess at the train station or something. Where was this? Up in
Right, it was a hotel.
Where was it? Connecticut or something?
Oh, no, in
No,
California.
LA.
Oh, California. Okay.
yeah,
So,
and Gilbert was at a hotel.
right, and Gilbert would never buy like a taxi ride or something. So she goes to pick up Gilbert, and Gilbert goes, "Oh, here's her accent," and starts making Holocaust jokes.
Yes.
Is that it?
Well, she starts telling me about her parents who were in Auschwitz.
Right.
I told you not Auschwitz.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it.
How do you say it?
Yeah.
It's Dachau and Bergen-Belsen, you full idiot. I told you that before.
It's like a scene from Hogan's
So
Heroes.
she picks up, and right away she starts telling you about the Holocaust.
Yes.
Yeah, so go ahead.
That her parents were in the Holocaust, and I started asking her, how were they able to lose weight? I really envy them.
Dark humor in the car.
Yes, exactly.
You're trying to tear her up.
Yeah.
Do you remember what else he said? What else did he say to you, ma'am? I forget.
Howard, he said all kinds of stuff. I cannot even say it on the air.
Please, just to prove what allows you.
He asked me if I was afraid to take a shower. He said, I don't even remember what horrible things he said. And I would still like to slap Amy across the face for not standing up for me and say, Gilbert, you leave my house now.
Well, I can't believe Amy didn't fire you after you said you want to slap her across the face.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You don't?
I can hear it because I'm still mad at her.
Really?
She says, Howard, she says Gilbert is a poor nebbish.
Right.
You know what a nebbish is? Like a
Can your
poor...
parents...
She pities you, Gilbert.
Can your parents be buried in a Jewish cemetery because they have tattoos?
Well,
that is a good question.
Yeah.
Jews can't be buried in a
they
cemetery.
can't have tattoos. It's against the law. I
So
don't know
were your
why.
parents allowed to be buried in a Jewish cemetery?
No. What did you say?
Now, if your parents were tattooed, even by the Nazis, are they allowed to be buried?
That's what they say. That's what they say, that you can't have a tattoo, you can't be buried, and also you can't commit suicide. They won't bury you.
Really?
Yeah. That's like, I wish that Gilbert would commit suicide already.
Right.
I can't stand his voice anymore. I think, you know what, Howard, after that call, everybody thought you were so funny.
Right.
But everybody thought that Gilbert was tasteless, and they were shocked. They called Amy, they called Neil.
Right.
All over. Everybody asked me, who is this guy? We've seen him before, his ugly, loud voice.
So what are you telling me that now Gilbert can't visit Amy again because you would be the person in charge of picking him up, right?
I would never, ever, ever pick him up. Amy doesn't
Can you
want to
pick me up in a cattle car?
Amy's not inviting him anymore. Amy is not friends with him anymore, really.
Is that right?
Gilbert, why did you, so have you heard from Amy, Gilbert, at all?
Every now and then. Yeah,
You
I
don't.
hear from her.
You
I don't hear
You don't hear from this woman.
You don't hear from Amy, don't lie. She doesn't need you for anything now. She doesn't.
Now, your parents had a very hip look. As they were thin, they shaved their heads. That's like hip among black people now.
You're ruining her movies. Why would she take you?
So you were...
Absurd.
What did they eat there to get that thin?
Yeah, but let me ask you
Trying to
something.
lose weight.
So you had no audience around you. Why did you attack this woman in a verbal way?
And how long a car trip was it?
Yeah, how long was it that you had to endure Gilbert?
Well, it's like I'm sitting in the car and I just want to like either take a nap or look out the window, and she starts telling me about her parents.
It was a little heavy, right?
It's not true, Howard. He went on and on in Amy's house while he was eating and licking that plate because he's cheaper than you even said before.
Right.
He's the cheapest man. He gives all the Jews a bad name.
Right. Well, that's true.
Yeah, that is
Gilbert, you can't lie about that.
They
Yeah.
hate him. They hate him.
Yeah.
Everybody in Hollywood.
Jews are anti-Semitic when they meet Gilbert.
Then I was holding up the plate of food and I said, "Boy, I bet your parents didn't eat this good in Treblinka."
Did you really?
Yeah.
He is so unbelievable. God will punish him. And already God did punish him because where are your jobs, Gilbert? What are you doing?
Well, he's going to be at Caroline's next Wednesday, October 29th.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Howard, can I tell you something?
Yes.
Howard, and I'm happy you're not calling me ma'am anymore because I felt so old when you called me ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Howard, listen.
Yes.
They went to Caroline's and Molly, the little daughter, she's 12 now.
Yes.
She said to me, Barbara, the opening act was much funnier than Gilbert.
Really? Let's hope you have a good opening act, Gilbert.
What kind of a body does Molly have now?
A better one than you. You walk
Is she
like
developing
an
breast yet?
old man.
Pisses me off.
Gilbert, you look like your appendix is still in you.
Oh.
No, I have it walking alongside me.
So, ma'am, you say that...
Oh, ma'am, call me Barbara.
Barbara, you're
Okay,
saying you still work for Amy, the famous director.
Yeah, the fish, she's
You
great.
should be working for Lenny Riefenstahl.
Did you have to drive Gilbert back to the hotel?
I had to drive him back, and no, I didn't. I refused. I refused.
Now, how did Gilbert...
Yeah, what you do?
Gilbert, how did you get home that night?
He must. I think Amy took him back.
Amy drove you back?
I got a ride back with Simon Wiesenthal. He said I'm driving in that direction.
Right.
You know, my parents died in the Holocaust.
He doesn't stop. He's so and Molly, you know the little girl Molly. She said
Yeah, she was hot. Has she been bad? I'd like to spank her.
Hey, you know what, Gilbert? Even kids find you revolting. That's still unusual.
So you're saying that, was this a good-looking woman? She sounds like she might be very good-looking, this woman.
Me?
Yeah.
I look like kind of Grace Slick.
Oh,
That kind of-
now or back then?
I swear to God, she looks like you, but with a dress.
Oh, really?
Who told you he gets hookers? You
I can't
See, I had to spend money to get a hooker.
Can I tell you something? I think this woman's in love with Gilbert.
No, Howard.
Ma'am, I'm just telling you, I think you're in love
Howard,
with...
on the grave of my father. Who died too.
Everything was Holocaust with
On the
her.
grave of everybody who died in the Holocaust. 6 million Jews.
All right.
I am
So
swearing to
because
you.
of the 6 million, you won't go to bed with me?
I swear to you, I would be dead if I had to sleep with
This
Gilbert.
is why the
My
6
heart would
million
stop.
died.
Why?
So this woman won't have to sleep with you.
My heart would stop. Gilbert, if you laid on top of me, my heart would stop.
Ah, like Dracula.
Oh, my goodness.
I would sleep with anybody but Gilbert. Anybody.
What is it like to be Gilbert and have women constantly, like, tell you, not only that, not rejecting you, but, like, repulsed by you?
Would you sleep with an SS officer?
I think before I slept with you, I would.
Oh, yeah.
You would?
Close my eyes.
Yeah, but he could give her free.
I would close my eyes.
You
I
would
close
sleep.
my eyes.
You would sleep with a if you had to sleep with either a Nazi or Gilbert Gottfried.
Nazi.
You would sleep with a Nazi.
Over Gilbert?
Right.
Well, he could slip her more bread.
Right.
I couldn't bear it. He's like, Howard is career.
If you had to sleep with either Gilbert or an AIDS patient, who would you sleep with?
You're going too far. You're going too far.
Well, we're just trying to determine.
We're just trying to determine how repulsed you are by Gilbert.
If you could either sleep with me or ride with Princess Di, which would you do?
That is horrible. See, now people will hate you even more too. You did this to me, now you're doing this with Princess Di. People are already hating you all over America.
Well, ma'am, you've had a horrible experience. Your family was killed by the Holocaust, and Gilbert, you just tried to open up to him. You tried to open.
You know, Howard, you know how many times I've talked to really important people in Hollywood, like Amy's friends,
Yes.
like really important people,
Yes.
producers, ever. everybody has been so nice. He was the only one.
Right.
But do you tell everybody the Holocaust?
I always, people ask me where you're from. You know,
it's like
I tell them my
entertaining.
story.
Yeah, so when you tell me where you're from, you tell me from the Holocaust?
Yeah, you say, I'm from
I'm
Auschwitz.
not from the Holocaust, Howard. I'm too young for that.
Right.
I'm not from the Holocaust. But my parents went through it, and all my grandparents were killed, and my cousins.
Can't you just say you're from Germany and leave it that?
No, I can't. Howard, I somehow have to tell it. I don't know.
I see.
It's like, you know.
Well, you got to expect any kind of reaction then.
Right.
No, but nobody would say something like that.
I
You
see.
know, all
Like,
my-
who are some of the famous people you've actually got to spend time with as a result of working for Amy Heckerling, the great director?
Oh, it's not spending.
But you know what I mean.
On the set, being on the set, John Travolta, when
Right.
he did Look Who's Talking To.
And you told John Travolta your Holocaust story, and he was
No,
very...
he didn't ask,
and
but
he
you know who
danced to
I told my Holocaust story?
Who?
A little bit,
Oh.
Henry Winkler.
Henry
He
Winkler.
is the sweetest guy in the whole wide world.
And when you told him you...
Did he give you the thumbs up and go, hey?
Hey, that's a good story.
Hey, Cunningham.
He was so nice. Oh, God.
Did you tell Donnie Most the story?
Who? Johnny Moss? You are, Gilbert, people were in shock when you did that on Howard's show.
Who
They
called
said,
you?
this man must
Did you tell Laverne and Shirley the Holocaust story?
come on. People said you should be in a mental hospital.
Isn't Gilbert, like, you think, you know, like, Gilbert's just wacky for the show or something, and then when he gets off the air, he's like normal? He's not. That's what I'm
That's what I
trying to...
love about the story.
Yeah, it's great. There was no audience.
People said we can't understand how Howard Stern can love Gilbert so much. They don't understand.
Oh, I don't love him. I'm repulsed by
I
him.
think you like him a lot.
But, you know, just imagine, not only does he do it in the car, he continues throughout the dinner.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the dinner with a 12-year-old in the room. Because you know Gilbert's trying to impress the 12-year-old. Probably wants it.
I think I had a shot with
Molly
her.
cannot stand Gilbert. She thinks he's an imbecile. He's like something.
So-
She let me give her a bath.
Was Amy upset during the dinner that Gilbert was goofing on your house?
Amy's like in that. I told Amy I'm going to quit my job.
Really?
I swear to God, I said, Amy, I'm so disappointed in you. How can you be, like...
Didn't you try to get...
Laughing? She thinks, and, I said, Amy, I was waiting for you to defend me because I would have jumped on him and killed him. I swear.
Right.
I heard she hit on Amy for more money because I was insulting her on the Holocaust.
And she gave me more
Yes,
money.
she gave
by
her
the
more
way.
money.
Right.
So you're using the Holocaust to get more money.
Oh, Gilbert. Gilbert, you don't even know what you're doing to yourself in your career. You're killing yourself. You have nothing.
The
Yeah.
whole table's hysterical. This one
Right. Well, listen, I understand your horror and
you
shame.
too. And you know what? People said Howard was so nice.
Of course. I mean, Gilbert is insensitive.
Deutschland, du body.
What did you know about Howard?
Yes.
I still have nightmares about it. I swear to God, I still have nightmares about this. How
And you-
my
Hard drive
father
with
was
Gilbert?
suffering.
She doesn't have nightmares about the Holocaust. She has
About the
nightmares about me.
No, she's talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
You have nightmares about the Holocaust, and
Yeah,
you tried to say to Gilbert, reach out to him
And
because
you
he's a
know
Jew.
what, Howard?
Yes.
Howard, I don't want pity or anything like that, but I just want to say for another thing. After my father survived and everything with 80 pounds,
Yes.
20 years later he got killed in a car accident with my little sister. So my life was really not that easy. So I don't need a clown like Gilbert laughing. Gilbert, who never had one tragedy in his whole life but himself.
Have you ever looked at my penis?
Tragedy.
But let's face it. I mean, it's kind of heavy to pick someone up and lay this all on them.
I wouldn't lay that on a normal person.
Right.
I am very sensitive and nice to guys.
And
Right.
you picked out Gilbert?
Because you know what? He pretended that he was really, sympathetic, you know?
Yeah. Well, all right. You know what? When he looks empathetic, it's just gas.
I think so, too.
That's it.
I tried to pick her up by promising to get her into the Holocaust Museum.
Now, Howard, I told you that Amy had to reimburse him for the taxi cab.
Wow.
She said,
Is that
he
true,
owed
Gilbert?
me $650 for
Oh,
the cab.
oh, my God. Is that right?
That's right, and Amy just laughed. What can you do with a guy like this? I said,
All right.
why do you hire him? He ruins your movie. It's horrible.
Right. Well, anyway, there it is. There it is. Another horrible story about Gilbert. And they keep rolling in.
But maybe you can get Amy.
It's like the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Maybe you want to... Hey, listen to this.
You want Amy on your show?
Amy, we would love to have on.
Yeah, Amy likes you now because you've been so good, you know.
Well, come on.
You said good things about her, and she
makes great movies.
Yeah, you're a sweet, Howard, and she will come on. I told her, Amy, you gotta go on, Howard.
Come on, and we'll talk about the Holocaust.
She looks really great.
Could you do one thing for me before you go?
What is that?
You go, Hogan!
What was that? I can't even understand. It's so pathetic.
Hogan!
And you're not funny on anything. You're not funny on the news. You're just annoying. You're horrible as a vampire. Awful. Horrible. He's always having TV.
Oh, you can't...
This is always...
I will shoot a number into your arm.
Shoot a number?
With my fangs.
You know what, Gilbert? Howard, can I say something?
Save your head.
Gilbert, you were really
With my teeth.
Gilbert, they should have left. Gilbert. Howard?
Yes?
I think...
If I bit the necks of your parents, they would be alive today, drinking the blood of the
My
living.
mother is obliged, you asshole.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to talk to Igor about this.
Howard?
Igor, you said she was dead.
Howard.
The hell is the matter with you?
Shut up. Gilbert, your voice is
Sorry,
annoying.
mister.
Yes?
Let me put her name on the computer.
Gilbert, they should have left the foreskin.
I bit off my own foreskin with my
Yeah, your
fangs.
foreskin should have been on you and somebody should rip it off. And then you would know what pain means. You would
Ah, that feels good. Rip my foreskin off. Right now, I command you, stare into my eyes and rip my foreskin off. Ah, ah, ah. Oh, boy, that's good.
You're
Oh,
anti-Semitic. You're the most anti-Semitic Jew I've ever seen.
He's an anti-Semite, you're right. He's
He gives Jews a bad name.
He does.
Everybody was
Igor is a Jew. He stands crooked. His stomach is full of that.
God, you make everybody laugh but me. I don't know.
I don't find it funny at all. It's not funny at all, man.
I don't understand Robin and Howard. Robin is
I'm laughing at Howard. Howard's crying. He's laughing.
I'm crying because of the 6 million people who died in Germany.
But especially Robin is so sensitive, you know.
Right.
I don't understand.
She's outrageous.
I told you I wasn't laughing at Gilbert. I
Gilbert
would
is
never laugh
childish.
at Gilbert.
Gilbert is childish.
He's like a PC.
She feels sympathy because she was in slavery. She understands. I would like to bite her on her black neck and her blacker kloogie. I want to bite her black kloogie. Stare into my eyes. I bite your kloogie.
All right.
No, before I
He
got
did this the whole night at Amy Heckerling's house?
Pardon?
He did this the whole night at Amy Heckerling?
He spent like 2.5 hours there.
I like Jewish blood. There is a hint of gefilte.
You know what's funny to me is she was heckled at Amy Heckerling.
I know.
Yeah, he can make Jewish jokes about the
That could be her autobiography.
Gilbert, are you saying that the only reason that you did all the only reason you did all these Jewish jokes is because it was inappropriate that she bring up the Holocaust?
I thought it was really inappropriate.
Right.
Because otherwise he does good Jewish impressions. I have to give him that. I have to give him that.
All right.
It's like his rabbi.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I
Give
understand.
me some Holocaust kloogie.
If you don't bring up the Holocaust, he makes funny Jewish jokes. He does funny old Jewish man and stuff like that.
I'm like Alan King.
All right. Well,
No,
anyway.
but he's no Jackie Mason, because when I listen to Jackie Mason, I'm really laughing.
Right. He does not have the ability to make you
What,
really laugh.
Gilbert just makes you smile.
But Howard, before I go, I don't want to waste time on Gil, but I want to give one compliment to
After an hour.
Baba Booey.
Right.
I just wanted to say he's been very polite to me on the phone.
All right. Listen, thank you, and say hello to Amy from me.
I will,
All right.
Howard.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
That is Barbara, who is very upset with Gilbert.
Always. Still.
Always. There's so many people.
I think
But she got it out of her system.
that dinner must have happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like legitimate.
Oh, there's tons of people on the line who have Gilbert stories.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, God, I could sit here all day and listen to them, but I got to take a break, and I've got to...
This is one of the funniest.
Oh, those are great.
I asked her about why she asked Gilbert over to dinner.
Funny you mentioned that. She's
Right.
a little irritated with Gilbert because apparently after the show,
Yeah.
Gilbert called her house and said some really not so nice things to her 12-year-old daughter. Some sexual references to her 12-year-old daughter.
Well, you got to get Gilbert on the phone. Can you?
Yeah, I'll call
All
her.
right. All right, get Amy in here. I never met her.
Intrigue.
Well, I didn't know Amy was hot.
I've never seen Amy.
I didn't know she was a hot broad.
Yeah.
Shoving up. Oh, I didn't know you were this cute.
Thank you.
You didn't. Oh, no wonder Gilbert's going over. He's probably trying to get in your pants.
He was hoping, maybe.
Yeah. You married?
No.
Really?
No.
Boyfriend?
I was engaged to Bronson Pinchot and we...
What?
Bronson Pinchot.
You have some weird taste.
You could do so much better than
Please
that.
have her get closer to the microphone.
Yeah, get close to the microphone. I don't want to miss this. You were engaged to Bronson Pinchot?
Yeah.
Eee. So what has Gilbert done now? Well, I want to get back to that in a minute because I'm fascinated.
That's the Gilbert thing?
Yeah. Hey, Gilbert. Yes. First of all, Amy's here, by the way.
Hi, Gilbert.
Now I know why you were going over there for dinner. You thought you were going to get in her pants. She's hot.
Gilbert could never think that.
You know what? No, that's all Gilbert would go for.
He could
Gilbert-
really think that.
I had no idea Amy was good looking.
Gilbert's looking for a job, I'm
Gilbert
sure.
would come over for a free meal. That's what Gilbert wants.
And you and Bronson would entertain Gilbert?
No, not Bronson. This was before Bronson was living.
Yeah, Gilbert thought he could get in your pants.
No, I thought I could meet Bronson Pinchot.
I don't understand something. First of all, you got to explain something. You must have a weird business set up. We had Gilbert on the other day.
Yeah.
Your assistant calls in and starts yelling at Gilbert. But
My babysitter.
is she your babysitter?
Yeah.
Oh, she's your babysitter.
Yes, Mrs. Simon Wiesenthal.
And I thought Gilbert was really funny with her and everything, but at the same point, I'm surprised that I figured you would have like ended your association with her because she was calling in during the show, but you're cool about it.
First time
No, she called a few times, in fact, because she really hates Gilbert.
Right, because Gilbert makes fun of the Holocaust.
He makes fun of the Holocaust, and I try to explain to her that Gilbert is out of his mind and can't help it.
Right, he can't.
What gives her that opinion, I'll never know.
Don't you think Gilbert is genuinely out of his mind? I don't mean like an act.
No, Gilbert is truly a sick person and
Yeah.
can't help himself, but then the question is, where do you draw the line?
Right.
So, I mean, for her, the line is the Holocaust. I mean, I was saying he can't help himself, he's nuts.
Now, he called you the other night and got a hold of your 12-year-old daughter and started making sexually suggestive
He
comments?
asked her if she was growing hair in a part of her body, and he used the C word.
Oh, my God. Wait a second.
She's 12 years old.
Gilbert, let me ask you. I got a 12-year-old, Gilbert. That is totally wrong.
You give me the number?
Gilbert, let me get this straight. You called Amy. Why did you call Amy?
I got a message.
Yeah.
It said, Amy wants to see you when she gets to New York, and then she says, give her a call. So I give her a call, and then who gets on the phone but,
The kid.
yeah, Mrs. Simon Wiesenthal first.
Yeah, right.
The babysitter gets on the phone first? The babysitter gets on the phone first.
And she starts yelling at you.
Yeah, she goes, you, and you can't, she starts like, why do you say those things to me? And then it's like this weird thing where it's like the daughter actually starts laughing at this stuff.
Oh, this is great. What a life.
So how does the daughter
Why do you say this about the Holocaust? And the daughter's like laughing.
Right.
On an extension.
Yeah, which eggs it on.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you believe all this is going on at your house, Amy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. You like it, though, in some strange way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. It makes you feel alive.
Uh-huh.
So, Gilbert.
Yes.
So then the daughter gets on the phone, Amy's daughter, her 12-year-old daughter. Now, don't you think it's a little wild to use the C word and ask her if she's growing hair down there?
Well, you like to get to know people.
Gilbert, it never occurred. Do you think at all I shouldn't do this?
No.
So, Amy, will you stop having a relationship with Gilbert?
Well, this is a problem for me. I mean, he's nuts, and I put up with people that have certain mental problems.
Because as a writer yourself, sometimes when you meet these characters, you're inspired by Gilbert, right?
Well, I mean,
you adore him on some level.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that will, insult an entire audience till they all leave and continues making jokes and laughing for himself,
right?
He's not all there.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert has gone up in concerts.
Oh, sure.
In concert, who did you open for? The Go-Go's?
Oh, yes.
And it was filled with 12-year-old girls, the whole concert hall, and Gilbert just got up and started telling,
the dirtiest
vagina jokes you could think of. Right?
Yes, because...
And then even after when half the audience left, you kept doing it.
Yeah, they said there's a lot of parents out here with their little kids. so that's what you say.
So, Amy, what happened? You were out for the night.
Right.
And Gilbert calls to talk to you. Your daughter gets on. And then what does your daughter do when Gilbert asks these questions?
I think, I don't know, she got mad.
She got upset and hung up? Mm-hmm. Did she hang up on you, Gilbert?
No.
I mean, out of curiosity, did you get any answers?
What?
You didn't get any.
I know what she did. She yelled at him that his career was down the drain and he was just doing Cheerios commercials.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I mean, a 12-year-old tells you your career is over and you're doing Cheerios commercials.
So, but I've had this German housekeeper call me a few times with the daughter. They got some weird alliance. The daughter doesn't know.
Really? They're calling you on the phone?
Yes.
Can you imagine what goes on in Gilbert's apartment?
Yeah, Gilbert's life.
So she started yelling at you. How long did she yell at you for?
Yeah, I've had her call up 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming at me about the Holocaust.
Gilbert would change his phone number, but he's too cheap. Yeah.
And she calls me up and she goes, "You son of a bitch! Why do you say those things about the Jews?" And then she'll put the daughter on.
At 3 in the morning.
Yeah, like training the daughter.
Amy, who do you have taking care of your child?
Her name is Barbara. Her parents both were in the Holocaust.
Right. But
why is she having your daughter at 3 o'clock in the morning on the phone with Gilbert?
I don't think they were calling it. Well, maybe for Gilbert it was 3 in the morning. It was midnight for them.
Wow. Oh. This is wild.
I would never have anybody calling Gilbert for my child.
No. All right. So, okay. Anyway, to make a long story short, so now you're mad at Gilbert, right?
Well, I mean, I'm torn because on the one hand I know he can't help it. On the other hand, it's for me that's the line.
Yeah.
Say things like that to my 12-year-old daughter.
Maybe it's gone too far.
Yeah.
And Gilbert, your defense is that they keep calling you?
Oh, yes.
I see.
They left messages that I couldn't leave. I couldn't play on your show.
They left messages for you?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Gilbert.
So,
So evidently there's a war going on between... Which is funny because they keep getting on the line with Gilbert. You would think they would just ignore him.
Yeah, she keeps putting the little girl on.
Yeah.
Then I say something dirty to the little girl, and she'll go, "Why are you saying that? How could you say that? Everything's going on good."
Is it possible that your babysitter is in love with Gilbert?
No.
She hates him.
Well, you don't call people on the phone who you hate.
Right. All right.
She has this attitude that she has to say what she thinks, and sometimes you tell her, no, you actually don't have to say what you think all the time.
Right.
But she really feels compelled to tell you what she thinks at all times.
All right, but anyway, at least I understand now why Gilbert's going over there for dinner. I didn't know Amy looked this good.
There's quite a lot of entertainment over at the house too.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you.
Bye, Gilbert.
That's Gilbert Gottfried, everybody.
So I guess that's the last time he's coming to the house?
Yeah, I guess he's not allowed over anymore.
I don't know. My brother is really angry at him because he says, how could you let him talk, like that?
But that's what's fun about Gilbert.
Yeah, except at what point is it too much?
Right. Well, you might have reached the point.
The daughter was hot.
The daughter is hot? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Gilbert. And what is it, guy?
Baba Booey. As long as we got Gilbert on the phone, Amy was telling me in the green room that she also heard a rumor that Gilbert's banned from doing anything with Sony Studios because of some other weird thing that he did.
What did you do there, Gilbert?
Oh, that you read that review on the air.
Oh, what was that? I forget.
Oh, that was one of these weird corporate things.
And what did you do? You went to a Sony corporate thing, and what did you do?
Yeah, it was some kind of charity event. They had a statue on stage of a man and a little child, and I held it up, and I said, "Thank you for giving me the Michael Jackson Award."
Oh, okay, that's good. See, now that's funny. All right. Hey, Gilbert, thanks, man. Bye. I don't know, I love Gilbert. I mean, but you shouldn't say that to his children. No, I would never have Gilbert near my children. Never.
You would protect children from Gilbert.
If my kids ever got a hold of Gilbert's phone number with their Holocaust babysitter, I would just put a ban on all phone calls.
Wonder what's going on at the house. You have dinners, you have Gilbert. Do you have, like, these audiences?
Don't tell me you only have dinner with Gilbert. That would be so sad.
It is. And then he, like, wants you to, like, make food for him and pay for the tab and take him out.
I don't even know where you get started.
He's funny, and I feel sorry for him.
Really? You feel sorry for him? Is that it?
Yeah.
You know, I got sucked up into that whole thing. Did you know Gilbert when he got into his operation?
That was terrible.
Well, let me tell you something. I was the only one. Me and Rob were the only ones who
both went.
We're the only ones who visited him in the hospital.
Yeah, I just called him on the phone. I mean, he went through hell.
And then this was really weird. Gilbert had his his appendix burst.
Yeah.
Okay, and Gilbert is so cheap. I mean, this is an amazing story. Gilbert is so cheap, he wouldn't get a private ambulance service.
Right.
And he was too embarrassed to call a public ambulance because he told me he was afraid the newspapers would be front page that his appendix burst. So I said, what do you mean front page? He goes, yeah, well, if they get word that my appendix burst. Meanwhile, he calls me, don't say anything about it on the air because it'll be all over the newspapers. Then 2 months went by. He was still in the hospital.
Not a peep.
Not a peep. And he goes, can you say something? Maybe the newspapers will pick up that I'm in the hospital. It was pathetic. He's so delusional. And then he was laying alone in his apartment because he was embarrassed that his appendix burst. He just laid there and refused to call an ambulance and kept passing out. Then I get in there and he starts calling my house. He needs pajamas, but special pajamas with a drawstring, not an elastic.
And medication?
Medications. Well, that's where I drew the line. So I start going to the hospital and bringing him pajamas. I'm shopping for all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Special underpants he needs. And I'm saying to myself, you know, the guy's a wealthy guy. He's got a mother. He's got a sister. I saw them there at the hospital. How come he doesn't ask them for underpants and pajamas? Like, why is it me? I don't know him that well.
All of a sudden you became a member of the family?
Yeah, suddenly, but I was the only guy who got suckered into going to visit him. Except for Belzer. Belzer went. And Belzer sat there and read the newspaper the whole time.
We got him to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody who showed up at that hospital, we encouraged to do it.
Well, because Gilbert was in the hospital way too long, I started to feel bad for him. So I called Dice, and I got Dice to go over there. So Dice went over and saw him. And Belzer. And then Gilbert told me, yeah, Belzer came, but he just sat and read the paper and then left. He didn't say anything.
That must have been so funny.
How great is that?
That's so sad.
That's so great. Yeah. And then I go over and I started bringing him all kinds of stuff. So finally he calls my house and he goes, can you get me... And that's the real Gilbert voice. I know, yeah. He goes, do you think you could get me a thermometer?
Right.
That reads... What was it? It reads out...
Digitally?
And I go, Gilbert, you're in a hospital. Just go downstairs, or send someone downstairs and get a thermometer. Well, I don't know. Would you please do it for me? And that's when I stopped calling him. Yeah. I said, I hope he dies in that hospital. I really do. I just don't care.
He's taking advantage of you.
Yeah, now I'm being taken advantage of. This is a guy who could get a thermometer. So call a drugstore. He has no relationship with the drugstore in his area. He has no relationships with any of the stores. Yeah. And then the scariest part was then Gilbert thought he was dying, so he started getting philosophical with me. And it was like this. It was like, what do you think it's all about? And if I ever get out of here, I'm going to really reevaluate. Like, maybe this isn't everything it's meant to be. And
right, remember he was going to give up comedy.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of I went, what is he going to do? Is he become a brain surgeon?
He has the ability to do nothing.
And I knew this was the words of just a sick guy. But he wasn't that sick because all of a sudden this black nurse came in the room, and he goes, get out. Get out. I've had enough. And I go, Gilbert, you can't talk that way to that woman. She's taking care of you. She could slip urine in your IV. He started being abusive to the nurse.
Oh, I'm sure.
You can't help it.
If I ever get out of here, I'm going to call a 12-year-old girl and use the C word.
He can help it. See, this is where you get confused, Amy. He can help it for sure. If your daughter was a big, burly, 6-foot-tall black man, Gilbert wouldn't say a word. He knows when to be appropriate and when not.
Right. And your babysitter's on the line, too.
She is?
Yeah. I did that. Oh, Tom, get out of here. Get out of here. I told you to disappear. Now I'm going to talk for another hour because you walked in.
Like a wounded dog.
Get out. Ass. Hold on.
He heard you were here.
Yeah. Gilbert?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. She's on the phone.
Oh, my God. You know, I wanted to know if Amy went out with him on Friday.
No, I
You didn't?
No.
Did you tell him off?
I didn't tell him off. I just don't know what to do about it.
Why do you want a babysitter, Amy, that keeps pressuring you to tell Gilbert off?
Well, I mean, for me,
What? I'm protecting her child. Excuse me.
Yeah, but you're the...
Do you call Gilbert daughters?
Every time they call me.
I'm getting so upset.
Let me understand this.
You have 3 daughters, Howard.
Yeah, but why would you put the 12-year-old on the phone with Gilbert if you know he's
She
unstable?
went on the phone on her own because she said, I'm going to tell him off myself. She heard.
And then he asked about her pubic hair.
No, I'll tell you exactly. Every time they call me up, I always say to this woman, I always go, first I insult her about the Holocaust, and then I go, look, I feel really terrible. Can I just say hello to Amy's daughter?
Right.
She'll put her right on.
Right.
She always goes, oh, sure, put the right on. and then I'll say, do you have any hair on your... And she goes, why do you say those things? And then she starts screaming at me, and I'll say, well, you're right. Let me apologize. Put her on.
Right.
She goes, okay, put her on again. And I go, would you like to stop? And she goes, why do you say that? What is it good? And I go, look, yeah, you're right. It's terrible. Let me just say happy birthday to her. Put her on. And again, she puts her...
Oh, my God.
It's like dealing with a cartoon character.
Gilbert, you do this all for fun. I mean, you don't even receive payment for this, and you do it.
Yes.
Right. But Barbara, why would you keep putting Amy's daughter on?
You're calling Gilbert.
Barbara...
I'm just saying something in my defense.
Yes.
Okay, we did some crank calls on Gilbert. That's because Molly wanted to do it.
Amy, you have a babysitter that makes crank calls.
But Molly is much smarter than Gilbert. She can really tell him off, okay? But he doesn't have the right. That's a whole different story to call the house and say something so dirty.
Your whole family's involved with Gilbert.
That's kind. Howard,
This is crazy.
Howard, I'm not going to say the word that I'm not supposed to say.
What's the word?
Shut up. I'm talking to Howard now. Howard, can I say the sentence?
Yeah, Barbara, can I say something?
One sentence.
What?
You know what Molly said? Gilbert, I would appreciate if you did not talk about my bodily development on the air, okay?
How long have you been living in this country?
Gilbert.
You can't speak English.
So, Howard, you know what he said to her? One sentence only. Oh, and she said, what did you say? And he said, I said you have a B-I-G.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Big? I can't say something. I can't say big.
She can't say hello. Forget other words.
Amy, does it concern you that your babysitter and your daughter are making phony phone calls to Gilbert at all times of the night?
well, I didn't know. I found out about that later.
Right.
I mean, they found his phone number and they just decided to bother him.
Right.
And I always say,
Gilbert was trying to
every time
defend
they
himself.
call, I say, put Amy's daughter on, and she always does it.
Right. Even though she knows,
Three Stooges thing.
even though she knows,
You're going to be inappropriate.
even though she knows you're going to be inappropriate, she puts her on.
Yeah, it's like she blanks out for a second.
Yeah.
You give her an order, and she does it. Very German.
Yeah.
No, because she calls me up at...
Gilbert, in a sense, you are like a Nazi to her. Whatever you say, she does.
Yes, you give her an order, and it's like she'll call me at 3 in the morning, and I'll say, did they allow people in camps to make long-distance calls?
Right.
Which sets her off.
And she'll go, and this is another thing. I couldn't understand for years. She used to go, why do you make these, it sounded like table chokes. And it was actually terrible jokes. I can't pronounce it. So she goes, why do you make these table chokes? And I'll go, what do you mean table jokes? Like, you're making these table jokes. And then I ask, I'll say, look, I'm really sorry. Just put Molly back on.
Right.
And I go, Molly, I'd really like to eat you. Why did you say that? That's a horrible thing to say to a little girl. And then right after I say that, I'll go, well, just put her on again. I just want to tell her so. And I'll say, Molly, I'd really like to put my hand in you. And she goes, why did you do that again?
Look what's going on with your family, Amy. This is the movie you got to make. It's the Gilbert movie.
The Gilbert and Molly show.
Yeah, the Gilbert, Molly, and Barbara show.
Howard?
Yeah.
Gilbert used the C word. That's all I have to say. And he doesn't have to do that. He's only apologizing for what he did.
She says
He's
the
not
C
even
word, she can't
apologizing. he's just feeling really awkward what he did, and everybody, knows that. And all the people
Everybody knows that.
Everybody called me after the interview and said they hate and despise Gilbert. He's like a little,
he should be marched off and shot.
He's like a parasite. He's like a parasite.
Barbara, what happened?
Waste Amy's time.
Barbara, what happened?
Amy's too important.
Yes.
Gilbert is a big nothing. And why did he?
A big Nazi?
He's a big nothing. He's a zero. I mean, go to Germany and let them kill you there.
You know what?
Okay?
You know what?
Let them kill you there.
You know what, Barbara?
You're a zero.
Barbara,
I don't want us to kill you.
Barbara, you're obsessed.
I love Amy. I do
Yes,
love Amy.
you're obsessed with the Nazis.
Gilbert.
I said to Gilbert after the show the other day that I suspect that you are in love with Gilbert.
I told him.
There is no way you would call him this much. I think.
Yes, Molly said, we got to take revenge, Barbara, what he did to you. And you know what? She can put him down. She can put him down so good, Howard, you would die if you heard it.
Really?
And then, of course, he has nothing to say, so he has to be dirty. That's when you have nothing more to say, you dirty.
But you're the babysitter. You're the babysitter. You're supposed to.
Howard, that's so low.
I also have pants material.
So
Who else are you
uneducated.
calling?
Uneducated.
Are you and Amy's daughter calling any other people or just Gilbert?
No, only Gilbert because we have... Howard, we don't call that much anymore. We used to call it like one.
Right. Did you know any of this was going on, Amy?
I found out afterwards, and I thought Molly and her ex-stepbrother had taken the phone number that
I
the kids
see.
were calling.
Right.
And then this is true. She actually got Amy to pay her more money
Right.
for taking care of the kid by saying, he keeps making jokes about the Holocaust. So she paid her more.
Amy, you're just jealous.
Million to get her
You
right.
are so jealous because you have that most horrible... I mean, if somebody had a crush on me like you, I would rather die.
Now, I understand. Now, Gilbert was saying things about you after you hung up the other day. He said that you look like me. Is that true?
That's not... Well, Howard, I have big hair and everything, but I don't really have your features.
You're lucky.
It's a little smaller, and I do look like Grace Slick. That's really true. People tell me that. Ask Amy.
Gilbert, were you attracted to Barbara at all? Was maybe there a love thing underneath all of this?
I don't think so.
Well, in a night porter kind of way.
A night porter?
Oh, remember there was this movie, The Night Porter, with Burt Bogart, with a Nazi and a Jew.
That's all I can talk about.
All right, so, Barbara, you will never have sex with Gilbert? Is that what you're saying?
I told you that before. It's an impossible thing for me. It's because I was...
She's in love with me the way that guy, that
First of all,
Nazi in Schindler's List was in love with the Jewish girl.
Right.
Howard!
Yes.
Howard, I pay you $500 if I see how Gilbert having an erection. $500.
I'll come over.
Right.
He's like a little...
He said he should be marched off and shot.
He's like a parasite. He's like a parasite.
Barbara, what happened?
Don't waste Amy's time.
Barbara, what happened?
Amy's too important.
Yes.
Gilbert is a big nothing.
Right.
Why did he...
A big Nazi?
He's a big nothing. He's a zero. I mean, go to Germany and let them kill you there.
You know what? You know what?
Let them kill you there.
You know what, Barbara? You're
a zero.
Barbara, you're
I don't want us to kill you.
Barbara, you're
But I
obsessed.
love Amy. I do
Yes,
love Amy.
you're obsessed with the Nazis.
Gilbert.
I said to Gilbert after the show the other day that I suspect that you are in love with Gilbert.
I told you.
There is no way you would call him this much. I think.
Yes, Molly said, we got to take revenge, Barbara, what he did to you. And you know what? She can put him down. She can put him down so good, Howard, you would die if you heard it.
Really?
Then, of course, he has nothing to say, so he has to be dirty. That's when you have nothing more to say, you're dirty.
But you're the babysitter. You're the babysitter. You're supposed to.
Howard, that's so low.
I also have pants material.
So
Who else are you calling?
uneducated.
Are you and Amy's daughter calling any other people or just Gilbert?
No, only Gilbert because we have...
They'll call Henry Wheeler.
Howard, we don't call that much anymore. We used to call like one.
Right. Did you know any of this was going on, Amy?
I found out afterwards, and I thought Molly and her ex-stepbrother had taken the phone number that
I
the kids
see.
were calling.
Right.
And then this is true. She actually got Amy to pay her more money
Right.
for taking care of the kid by saying, he keeps making jokes about the Holocaust. So she paid her more. She was using the $6 million to get her
You
right.
are so jealous because you have that most horrible I mean, if somebody had a crush on me like you, I would rather die.
Now, I understand. Now, Gilbert was saying things about you after you hung up the other day. He said that you look like me. Is that true?
That's not, well, Howard, I have big hair and everything, but I don't really have your features.
You're lucky.
It's a little smaller, and I do look like Grace Slick. That's really true. People tell me that. I'm gaming.
Gilbert, were you attracted to Barbara at all? Was maybe there a love thing underneath all of this?
I don't think so.
Well, in a night porter kind of way.
A night porter?
Oh, remember there was this movie, The Night Porter, with Bogart, with a Nazi and a Jew.
That's all I can talk about.
All right, so, Barbara, you will never have sex with Gilbert? Is that what you're saying?
I told you that before. It's an impossible thing for me. It's because
She's in love with me the way that guy, that Nazi in Schindler's List, was in love with the Jewish girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Howard.
Yes.
Howard, I'd pay you $500 if I see Gilbert having an erection.
I'll come over
right now.
Right.
I would pay.
You
If
can
I
see
see him, that's enough.
That's gone too far. You've gone too far. You've gone too far. All right, listen. Gilbert, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And Barbara, thank you.
But Howard, one thing before we go.
Yes.
As talented as I just wanted to say one thing. It's a pleasure to work for Amy, and she's a wonderful person. She's not like the Hollywood people, you know.
Right. Amy, are you upset with Barbara at all out of all of this?
She's so smart and funny, and she's a great boss. And she's a great boss.
She doesn't beat me with the head of a rifle. Line me up against the wall. And ask if I have any skills and shot me.
Howard.
Oh, yes.
I truly
She never shaved my head or put up that foot. Such a wonderful woman.
Howard.
Yes.
I go into the shower, just water comes out. It's a wonderful place to live.
Oh.
She gives me lunch, but she doesn't pour it into a metal can. She doesn't make me march for 20 days in the snow. She doesn't try medical experiments on me.
Get him off the phone and talk to him.
All right, let me hang up on both of you.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. I gotta go out and run anyway.
All right. Okay. Goodbye, Gilbert. Good luck with your jog, Gilbert. Yes, there he is. That is your nightmare, Amy.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Và hôm nay bên em lại về một chiếc xe i10 số sàn sản xuất 2018 bản 1.2 và xe thì có màu trắng. Và em sẽ quay tổng thể chiếc xe cho mọi người xem. Con này thì cũng bị đâm vào một chassis ở bung túi khí rồi mọi người nhé. Vì vậy giá của em nó thì giảm rất là nhiều so với những con xe cùng đời. Đấy, biểu tượng Hyundai.
Bye.